X Factor Youth. I'm part of the X Factor Youth. Put me on stage, you can find me in the book. Put me on a track like I'm stuck inside a booth. I'm that nigga, young nigga with the truth. Black body with a Jewish mindset flow. Black man with a lot of grind, I know. Inside I go, my mind's on though. I hide my mode, me blind, my bro. Never ever did they realize, my bro. Grown man making niggas cry, my bro.
What we've noticed at X Factor Youth is when we work with various NPOs, it's usually the non-profit organizations that have been around for a while that are white managed or light-skinned managed that seem to get more funding, more donations, more sponsorship. And that is why I commend you for what you're doing, because you hear it in the corridors. Hey, my Mary manages this organization, Mlambo. You know, because of how structured you are. And unfortunately, we always assume, because you know, Otaki, we have this issue with being controlled by Munyutaki. It's a fact. And it's something that we just have to put out there. But what is your take on those organizations compared to a black managed organization who actually, you might find, needs the funding because they're actually doing the work, but there's that stigma of corruption, of people trying to clean money. How does that make it difficult for you as a proper running organization who's being denied because these corporates give you that paintbrush of it's black managed, let's rather give it to our compadres, if I could put it that way?
You must not forget where we come from. And some people were doing things because we're taking back what belongs to us. So if we start a non-profit organization and we get funded, I get 20,000 rand, 10,000 rand, it's for me, the other 10,000 will work. It's because it's my money, those people stole our resources, blah, 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 blah. So that mentality needs to change. There's only one Mary Mlambo. Well, there are other people called Mary Mlambo somewhere, but this one, there's only one me. My reputation, I have a reputation to protect. I've got my name to protect. I have got a path that I want some people to walk that path one day, and they need to say, I'm walking in Mother Mary's footsteps. I've always said excellence is my middle name. So excellence has to be the order of the day. Yes, funders and corporates and everybody prefer to use the previously, or rather the big organizations, mainly white owned, because they have built a reputation that they are trustworthy, they are accountable. We don't want to be held accountable. People will say, why must you give me your money and then you want to tell me how to do it? Come on, it's not about wanting to control you, but it's wanting to say, be accountable for the money. You cannot ask me for money that you want to buy this glass, and then when the money comes, you decide that, no, I don't want to buy the glass, I actually want to buy a book. That's not what we agreed on. So be responsible, be accountable, and we don't want to be held accountable. That's what the problem is. We don't want to keep records. We don't want to write things down. We don't want to we don't want to, honestly, it's about accountability. It's about saying, I did what I wanted to do. Then people will trust you and say, okay, so you said you want to buy a glass, you bought a glass. Then I will give you more to buy 6 more glasses. So that's where the difference is that number 2 is that we were not taught money management. It's not in most of our black communities. Managing money is just not one of our things. We were just never taught. we don't come from a culture of money. So we don't know how to control money. So when you see a little bit of extra money, you think, wow, winning, so nobody will see. But that's not how it is. But it's about time that it changes. We cannot always have those previously white-owned non-profit organizations serving our community. We're not saying we don't want them. We're not saying they shouldn't serve our communities. But where are we? When are we going to take accountability and serve our own people and be there for our own people? Why must we always to make a difference when we can do it ourselves?
Exactly. I mean, as you're speaking, I mean, these days, the big person, exactly what you're saying is Ibrahim Traore, who has just, hey man, he's catching heat because of what you're saying, that he doesn't want, in this case, Western funds or Western people coming to interfere with Burkina Faso. And he's taking heat, but he's managed to kind of break those chains slowly but surely. And I agree. I really do believe that stigma has to change because we've evolved. I mean, some of us have gone to school, so we should have a better understanding. We might not be experts, but also we truly understand our problems. It's very difficult to us to go to Mlung and tell them we have this issue. But if you have lived that experience, you could try find a solution because you know there's the trauma, there's the pain and all of that. And I really want to thank you for what you've done. I mean, you went to a completely different province and you just decided to assist and just really try and make a difference, because I always ask myself, had LYD not been there, what would a 2025 look like for a young person in Mzingazi, in Richards Bay? Because it's the mornings when I wake up and there are kids that come to print because they don't have printers for their assignments. And it's those small things that, I mean, I won't lie. I mean, I came from very middle income. So there's things that I did take for granted. And every time I go to LYD, I get reminded that, hey, not everybody has what you had. Therefore, you need to keep making a difference. And every time I see you put in work, I'm like, I got to go back. There's clearly something that I'm missing. So I just like to commend you for doing the work that you do, because it's not easy. I mean, there's some other stories that you tell me outside of this. I'm like, your mental health, like, who checks up on you? But you still wake up early in the morning and you just try to make that community a better place. And it is not easy. And these conversations, I wanted to be a part of history. Because it's amazing. It really is amazing what you're doing.
You've just mentioned sorry to interrupt while you're speaking. You just mentioned that the stigma has to change. We must change it ourselves. Nobody's going to do it for us.
Exactly.
Honestly, nobody is going to do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. And I've seen it in places where you go to meetings. If you want to make sure that you're going to get that funding or somebody is going to even give you a hearing, you must bring a Ngamla with you. Until when? It just can't be like that always. I have seen where we have volunteers mainly from Europe. We've had from America as well, from the US as well, but mainly from Europe. We've got volunteers at the center. And the young people, when a volunteer says, please, can you come with me to go to town? People will tell you that, I know they are white, they've got money, so they can buy lunch, they can pay for a taxi, I'm like, why? Where does that mentality come from? We need to change. And that's part of the things that we're saying. Understand, we cannot always go, because these white people, we go to them begging and making ourselves so poor and so useless. No, even if I don't have money to pay for for lunch or to pay for a taxi, I would rather give another reason, not to say, oh, sorry, I can't go with you because I don't have money. Now you make yourself feel so, please feel sorry for me because I'm so poor, I'm black, and I'm an excuse for a human being. Come on. We need to snap out of it. So people need to change. So that stigma, nobody is going to change. We have to change it ourselves. Yes. The fact that you went to school does not mean that you know any better. I know smart people that did not go to school. I appreciate, those, as much as it put me through some difficulties, but I appreciated that opportunity of being exposed to going to sit under a tree on a Sunday morning where the induna is sitting there and people of the community are bringing different issues. Of course, I was there for issues of wanting a piece of land to be able to build the youth center. But members of the community come there to this, I don't know what you call it, under a tree court, and they speak very important, valuable things there. Smart people, important decisions are taken there. And when you hear the induna or one of his elders or a chief speaking and giving a judgment on a matter, it's like, this is smart. This is very intelligent. So it is not always just about people that have gone to school. The challenge with people that have gone to school, they think they know better. And a lot of the times they want shortcuts. They want things that can be done quick. Just a quick one I want to tell you is that I was reading something this morning on social media and it actually made me laugh. Somebody wrote about two prominent people that are motivational speakers that, basically the person is saying, these people are selling their books. You're telling us about how we can make money and how we shouldn't feel sorry for ourselves and we shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. But you don't actually show us how we should do it. And you come from a point of privilege because you had somebody that could give you a startup. I'm nobody. I come from somewhere. I'm a child of a kitchen girl and a garden boy, or just one single mother who works in my kitchen. So there's no money, there's no point to start at. And yet you come and tell me to buy a book that is 450 Rand. When I don't have a 5 kilograms of mealie meal for my stomach in the house, where am I going to get to buy a book, to read your book so that I'm able to make the kind of money that you're making? So we must always remember that, and I mean, all of this I didn't know before. I must be honest myself. Some things I got exposed to it with my work, that we must always remember that we don't all come from same backgrounds. We don't come from same environment. Some environments are completely different, and we need to learn to appreciate and treat everybody equally and appreciate everything else, because in everything there is a lesson.